Welcome everybody to Greater Life, Greater Impact. I'm so grateful that you're here, and we're going to have an amazing experience today. I'm going to take you through a wonderful meditation where we can tap into deeper levels of our beings. This is the time of year. This is our first class for the year. So this is the time of the year when people are looking to make changes in themselves, make changes in their behaviors, make changes in even their physiology. Everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants to set goals. Everybody wants to make changes. And I get that. This is a new beginning. It's a fresh start. But I highly recommend that we take this process a little bit deeper by, rather than making changes in our external selves and in the physical aspects of ourselves and the sensory aspects of ourselves, what if we could just allow ourselves to go deeper inside and tap into infinite potential and infinite possibility, and allow that part, these aspects of yourselves that are so powerful, that can create worlds and universes. If we really allowed that power to be unleashed, what if we could go in there, tap into that part of ourselves, and allow change to be intuitive and meaningful and purposeful, rather than trying to use brute force to change our behaviors. Behavior and attitudes and addictions and problems that you're seeking to try to overcome in your life, the best way to change those kinds of habits and attitudes and addictions in your life is by learning how to tap into the deepest levels of who you are, because that's where true change lives, and that's where enlightenment takes place. And enlightenment is a lot more free-flowing, it's a lot more abundant, it's a lot more effortless than to use brute force to try to change the external world that you're, the place that you're coming from. So welcome everybody. I'm excited to have you on here. Sit in a comfortable place, hopefully, preferably feet on the floor or Indian style. Just kind of go into a relaxed position. I'm going to get you centered in just a few moments, but I really do want to talk about this concept, why it's so important for us to learn how to connect to our higher selves, and why that matters and how impactful it can be in your life. I've put together a whole plethora of notes, probably 6 or 7 pages of notes. So I'm not going to go over all of those notes today. You guys can go, when you get the replay to this class later on, you can print out the handouts and go deeper into your study. But I really do want to talk about the process of enlightenment and accessing higher levels of consciousness. Sorry, I'm having to admit people into the room. Give me one second. I want us to focus on this because I think it's really relevant and I think it's important. So there's 3 steps to becoming enlightened, or to opening yourself up to a more enlightened version of yourself. And the first step is to know yourself. If you follow any of the ancient philosophers through all of the cultures and civilizations of this planet, almost every single one of them single-handedly is saying, know yourself. It's a really important part of the journey, is to know yourself. And so that, to me, would be step number 1 in your journey of progression, ascension, enlightenment, higher levels of consciousness, whatever you want to call this. Deeper levels of spirituality, deeper levels of connection to yourself and to God. The first step in that process is to come to know yourself. You know, I've taken you guys through meditations before where we've tapped into the I am. And in the I am, the most constant part of that aspect of you is the I. It's the self. And have you ever stopped to wonder, who is the I? Who is the I part of myself? Who is it that's looking through the eye holes of my physical senses that allow me vision as I'm witnessing the world around me and as I'm looking at the external world and other people in the world, and I'm comparing myself to all of that? Who is the silent witness within, that silent observer of what's going on in the world around you? So the personalities, the persona, the titles that you carry, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a parent, I'm a brother, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm an employee, I'm a boss, whatever the titles are that you carry, and even the titles of personality types, right? I'm an outgoing personality or I'm an introvert. Those personality types, that is not you. None of this stuff that I've just mentioned just now is you. That stuff is an activity that you participate in as you interface with this 3D world that we live in. But that is not you. The constant that is unchanging, that is the same yesterday, today, and forever, is the I. It's the self. All the other stuff is changing. So you think about, what did your body look like when you were born as a newborn baby? What was your personality? What were your attitudes and your beliefs? What were your memories and your experiences? That's very different than what you're experiencing and noticing and thinking about and judging today. And so that stuff is always changing. It's always in motion. That's an activity. Your physical body is 50 trillion cells that are having an activity. They're having an experience, but that experience isn't you. The activity isn't you. The story about your life isn't you. That's just a story. So who is within this body? And I would also even add, I don't believe that you are within your mind and you aren't within your body. Your mind is within you. Your body is inside of you. And who you are is a feeling. And who you are is a vibration. Who you are is the silent witness to which all experiences come and go. That is the self. And that part of you is infinite, eternal, unchanging. You have always been this self. You have always been this I. Maybe with different bodies, maybe with different personalities, maybe with different hair, maybe with different beliefs, judgments, values, religious upbringing. But the I remains constant. So don't confuse, Deepak Chopra says this, don't confuse the self with the selfie. That is not the true self. What we have to do is we have to peel back the curtains of the persona that you project out into the world and go deeper, because the true self is behind all of that. So we got to find a way to peel back all the curtains so that you can really witness the witnesser within you. Tammy Kim says, I recently saw some old pictures of myself as a young girl, and that was so eye-opening. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? To look at yourself deeply in the mirror and to wonder who's looking back at you. That's really where we want to go today. The mind, the body, the universe, everything that's happening in the external world around you, that stuff is the scenery, but you are the seer. So the world around you and your physical body, all that stuff is the scenery. You are the seer. the real you, the real non-tangible, infinite, eternal expanse of you cannot be found in space-time. It's not tangible because it's timeless. And so we come into these physical bodies to have experience. We come into these physical bodies in this 3D world to discover who we really are, in spite of all of the personas and all of the filters that we put and the ways that we judge ourselves. So when you witness the world around you, what you're witnessing is really just different aspects of yourself. So, for example, if you look outside and you see the beautiful day and the clouds and the sunshine and the trees and the beauty of nature, and it fills you with gratitude for witnessing those things, what you're really doing is those things that you're witnessing that's causing that good, amazing feeling of gratitude inside of you, those things are symbolic reflections of you. We call that beauty. You're witnessing the beauty of yourself. When you look at another human being and it fills you with all these amazing good feelings because you're witnessing the goodness and the wholeness and the awesomeness of that human being, they are a reflection. They're acting as a symbolic reflection back to you. And what you're doing is witnessing an aspect of you in them. So it's a reflection of you. The whole world, the external world around you, is reflecting back to you that which is you. So when you witness something in someone else and it gives you those good feelings, we call that love. and it's triggered by love of self. And then you can share that openly with another. That's unconditional love. So the goal is to witness ourselves, is find a way to witness the true aspects of our higher selves without judging it, without having any judgment to it, just pure, perfect, unconditional love. Now, when you witness the world around you and you see things like war and violence and control and manipulation, and that creates suffering, then what's happening inside of you is this is the evidence of separation. You have become separate from yourself. You've become separate from God. You've become separate from truth. And you've fallen into a state of sleep. So it's evidence when you're witnessing all the negativity in the world, it's evidence of how asleep you are. And so what we need to do is learn how to wake up to a higher awareness of ourselves. And as you learn how to wake up to a higher awareness of yourself, the suffering goes away because you learn how to let go of all of the things that you're clinging to that you think you need to be true, if that makes sense. One of the biggest stumbling blocks to our higher awareness or higher levels of consciousness and enlightenment is the conditioned mind. And you think about all of the things that condition our minds. Alicia says, I feel like I often love what I see in others that I don't see in myself. So this concept is foreign to me. Oh, interesting. So when you witness these wonderful aspects in other people, what you're doing is observing you. It's other people, when they come into your world and into your domain and into your space, they are reflecting back to you aspects of you. So when you witness that in others, we call that love, and it's triggered by self-love. So just know that that's what's taking place. Okay. Every stumbling blocks, let's talk about that. So let's think about what are some of the stumbling blocks. I want you to type it into the chat box if you can think of some, but the stumbling blocks that I was referring to are conscious conditioning, mind conditioning. Who is it and what is it in the world around you that conditions your mind to believe a certain way? And I'll go first. One of them is family. Oftentimes, the way that we are trained and conditioned to see and respond and judge life, we learn that. It's learned behavior. We learn it from our families. But that's not who you are. Schooling, religion, media, thank you, good job. Feeling like I can only be with God if I take certain steps put forth by religious authorities. Yeah, so that's conditioning. That's mental programming, but that's not you, and it's not necessarily always true. So, ethnicity, culture, somebody said school, education, economy, gender, right? All of these things are conditioned upon us. We're taught through social norms and social conditioning, but we don't know that any of that is actually based in truth. And the only way to really know is to learn to gain higher access to higher levels of consciousness within you that allow you to tap into the truth as it comes from the creator of all that is, from the source of truth. Okay, identities. I want to talk about identities because often, when we come into this world, we're given opportunities to create a persona for ourselves, an identity for ourselves. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a priest, I'm a mother, we put on these different roles and personas for ourselves. But every single identity that you've ever taken on, I identify as a woman, or I identify, these are my pronouns, right? So those are just labels, they're filters, but every single identity that we've ever taken on for ourselves, as far as what roles we play and how we identify ourselves in the world and how we want other people to see us, those things don't really matter. They don't truly identify who you really are. They're just a story. And the story ultimately isn't you. The story ultimately equates to the activity that we talked about earlier. So today, I want us to have an experience in our meditation where we go beyond the activities and we go beyond the story and we go beyond the physical dimension and really tap deeper into the levels of your being that produce feelings, good feelings. So true identity lies behind the stories. It's about peeling back the curtains and really getting to the depth of who you really are. Einstein said that imagination is more important than information or knowledge, I think he said. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Think about that. So we're going to use our imagination today in this little workshop, in this meditation that we're going to go into. One of the greatest gifts that you have access to is your awareness, is your conscious awareness. And when awareness becomes focused, it can lead to contemplation. And contemplation will lead to introspection. And introspection will lead to deeper questions about who are you? Who am I in the world? Who is God? Who am I in relation to God? Do I have a purpose? Do I have a soul? Where do I go after I die? Why am I doing the things that I do in this world? The subconscious things that I do. So mindfulness is about gaining awareness of yourself, deeper levels of awareness of yourself and your sensory environment. It's also about reducing the emotional responses or the triggers to your external environment. So as you gain deeper levels of conscious awareness of the self, the I and the I am, it reduces the need for you to emotionally be charged by the experiences of your life. I watched, do you guys ever watch that show? Shoot, now I can't think of the name of it. Kitchen, I can't remember what it is. Darn it. Chef Ramsay is on it, and he goes and helps to transform people's restaurants because they have kitchen nightmares. Yeah, that's what it is. He helps to transform their restaurants that are really struggling. And what ultimately ends up happening in this show is it reveals to people the reason that their business is struggling so bad is because they, as human beings, are struggling so bad. And there was one episode last night where the employees came into a separate room and they thought they were being interviewed by themselves. But the bosses, the owners of the restaurant, were in another room watching and observing and listening to the criticism that was coming out of the employees. They were, Chef Ramsay was asking, what's wrong with this restaurant? And it all pointed back to the owners. That's what's wrong with the restaurant. These people fight too much. They yell too much. There's too much contention, la, 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 la. And they started criticizing one of the owners, which was a woman. And she went into a rage. I mean, literally a rage of kicking and screaming and shouting and yelling back in the kitchen because she was observing this, couldn't handle the self-criticism. It was so painful for her that she went into a rage, and then she went into just crying and sobbing uncontrollably because she couldn't handle the criticism. She couldn't handle the truth that was being reflected back to her about what she was doing that was causing the problem in the restaurant. But like, she literally went into this crazed maniac kind of a rage where she was throwing things and hitting people and screaming and yelling because she couldn't handle the feedback. That is evidence of a disconnect from who you really are. So I'm going to take you into a meditation today. Before we go in, I want to show you something. We're going to use sacred geometry to get in. I have been studying this for the last couple of years. Some of you understand what the Merkaba is. The Merkaba, some people call it Merkaba, some people call it Merkaba. But in sacred geometry, it's a very sacred shape or construct that we can use in our meditation to really help us go deeper into deeper levels of our being. Now, this sacred structure that I'm going to share with you is called a star tetrahedron, which is the Merkaba. And we're going to use it. We're going to use it to generate energy and electricity and vibration. We're going to use it to help you tap into the deeper levels of your being. Somebody shared with me a video not very long ago, just a few weeks ago, and in it, gosh, there's so much science behind this, but we don't have time to go into that. But I do want to just show you the basic construct. This is a tetrahedron. It's a pyramid, basically. So when you take a pyramid, you take two pyramids and you have one right side up and one upside down, and you insert another one into this tetrahedron, you get a star tetrahedron. So this is the top of that original pyramid. Here's the base, right? It's sitting on its base. And this little diamond shape is poking out. It's not diamond, but this little top of the pyramid is poking out through the bottom. And what you're looking at here is the upside down version of it inserted into. So basically you have a pyramid that looks like this. It's pointing up and the point is at the top. You have another pyramid pointing down and you insert them into one another. We call that the star tetrahedron. And it's actually what scientists have found, that this is the molecular construct of gold. Gold forms itself molecularly as a star tetrahedron. And this is something that they've discovered in sacred geometry. So what we're going to do with this sacred shape is we're going to use it to generate energy. Now, I can't go too much into the science of this, but I spent 2 hours, a couple of years ago, spent 2 hours listening to a professor of sacred geometry talk about the importance of pyramids and how powerful pyramids really are in generating energy and electricity. And he built one, a life-sized model of a pyramid in his backyard. And as he inserted electrical wires up through the top of the pyramid and it was hanging down, when he went to go touch that electrical wire, it almost killed him. It shot him back against the wall, the back wall of this pyramid. And what he realized and what he discovered is that the shape itself is a generator of energy and frequency and vibration. That's why we call it sacred geometry. We don't understand it, but just trust me. In my handouts and in my notes, I will give you links to some of the different places where you can go to study this stuff and get more information. But for today, just trust me, we're going to use this sacred Merkaba imagery. I'm going to have you form one of these Merkabas in a holographic form in front of you. And the two pyramids are going to spin they're going to counter rotate on and within each other to create a vortex of energy. So the top pyramid that's facing down, the point is facing down, it's spinning clockwise around on itself. And this bottom pyramid that's facing up, and remember that they're within one another, in the centers of each other, it is turning and spinning counterclockwise. So it's forming this energy vortex. Okay. So I'm going to invite you to get into your body. I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes and slow down a little bit. Now, what scientists, these sacred geometry scientists believe is that each one of us has our own Merkaba within us. Some people believe that it exists within the heart space. Some people believe that it's in every cell. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. What matters is I want you to focus on that spinning activity that is generating energy. And I want you to just focus on that as if this giant Merkaba is sitting in front of you. Just breathe into the energy. Take your focus though, take your awareness, and I want you to drop down deep into your body. Deeper than just your body. So we're going to peel back the curtains and we're going to tap into divine, infinite intelligence, the deeper levels of yourself, the infinite self. So slow your breath down a little bit. Let's observe the breath. I'm going to give you just 2 or 3 cycles of breathing to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Let that wind sound come through your lips. Drop your shoulders on the exhale. Now, I want you to become focused and aware of your body. Focused and aware of the energies that are flowing in your body. Do the energies feel good? Do the energies feel uncomfortable? That's an indicator of whether or not you're connected to your higher self or separated from your higher self. You can always tell if you're connected because it feels good, and it always will, and it only ever will. You can always tell when you're not connected and you're in a state of separation because it doesn't feel good. It feels unsafe, it feels unstable, sometimes it feels heavy. So just notice where in your body do you feel more connected and where in your body do you feel a little more separate. Breathe in, breathe out. So as you notice those little pockets in your body that are holding tension, just go to wherever that is. If it's in the shoulders, I'm feeling it right now in my collarbone. So I'm just going to go to that area, invite those muscles to soften and relax and let go on the exhale. Soften, relax, let go on the exhale. Keep breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm going to give you a couple more opportunities to take that breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Slow your thinking down. So we're going to drop down out of our brains, and we're going to just drop down deep into your body. Go within. Relaxing all the way down from the top of your head, down behind your face. Relax your eyes, your throat, your tongue. Find all the little pockets of tension in you and just invite them to soften and smooth themselves out. Somebody really smart once said that the highest awareness, I'm gonna have to read this because I can't remember it, but the highest awareness is the ability to observe yourself without judging yourself. So can we do that today? Can we open ourselves up to observing ourselves without judging ourselves? Keep breathing. I really want you to focus on the breath, and I want you to focus on the body. And I want you to notice what parts of the body am I holding on to tension, and ask those muscles to just release and soften and let go. On the exhale, drop your shoulders. The highest awareness is the ability to observe yourself without judging yourself. Now, you are not within your body. Your body is within you. You are much more expansive than your body. The I in the I am is expanded consciousness. That is what you are. That is who you are. And that can be accessed through a feeling. So I want you to notice the more that your body gets relaxed and softened in this state of peacefulness, stillness, relaxation, that is you getting more and more connected and centered and grounded to you. When you experience this and you really do connect on a higher level, the deepest levels of your being, then there is true intuition. Then there is true intelligence, divine intelligence, truth. That's your access to truth. Not conditioned truth, not conditioning, not programming, not false identities, not false personas, but real, legitimate truth. Intuition isn't rational, and it's not logical. I was trying to combine those two words, rational and logical. So what you're doing when we go inside of the body is we're getting into the center, the core of the conscious awareness of you. We're going into the center, the core of the I, in the I am. You're eavesdropping on on your true self. So as you sit here and you observe the world around you and you look at the external world around you, have you ever stopped to think about who is it that's doing the looking? Who is it that's in here? Conscious awareness, connection to your higher self is when you start to feel inseparable from the universe, from all that is. You feel inseparable from God. You feel inseparable from all creation. That's true consciousness. And right now, your identity is just a story. It's just an activity, but it's not the true you. So breathe in, breathe out, continue relaxing. Let's take our awareness deep down, deep down, deep down within the body. This time, what we're going to do as we drop down into the body, I want you to picture your higher self, your higher consciousness, and pulling it down into all of the body, pulling it down through the top of the skull. You grab yourself by the ankles and you pull your higher self down, 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 through your face, through the ears, through the brain, through the throat, through the neck, the spine, the bones, down through your shoulders, the muscles, the tissue, the flesh, the circulation. Breathe in, breathe out, and pull your higher self in more. Going down, down the arms and into the fingers, down into the upper stomach and the lower stomach, down through your heart and your organs, pulling your higher self, this divine light that you are, bringing it down deeper and deeper and deeper into every cell, into every bone, into every particle of material that makes up your physical body, down, down through the base of the spine, down the legs, down through the knees. And move your body a little bit, like let's create some movement. You can roll your hips around, you can roll your shoulders, move the body, bringing the higher self deep down all the way under your feet, anchoring in at the base of the spine. Good. Now we're going to generate some energy here. First, before we do that, I want you to go to the base of the spine. Put your attention and your awareness there. This is a connecting point to your higher self. It's one of my favorite connecting points, and you'll notice that I almost always guide you to connect there because I do feel like it's a portal to your higher self. It's one of them. There are many ways to get in, but this is my favorite because it's also the root chakra, which is about foundation. It's about support. It's about family. It's about safety, stability. So just bring your awareness down into your body and connect to yourself on the level of safety and foundation and stability. Connecting in on the level of confidence, standing on your own 2 feet as a sovereign, autonomous being. I just want you to notice, have the awareness now that your light is fully in, you're fully engaged, and now just shine. Push that light out on the exhale. So let's just kind of push the aura out a little bit on the exhale. Drop your shoulders, relax your face, push your light out. Big. Big and bright and bold. Keep pushing that light out. Let your aura get bigger. Every time you exhale, let that get bigger and brighter. and brighter and brighter until you fill up the room that you're in with your aura. Now, in quantum healing, when you're connected to the core of yourself in the center, and you have this awareness of your center being from the top of the head to the base of the spine, down your legs and out your feet. When you're connected to that perfect center of your being, you're connected to the infinite, eternal version of yourself, the same yesterday, today, and forever. So breathe into that and just let it shine and permeate and penetrate and go out into the universe in every direction, above you, below you, in front of you, behind you. Feel yourself spread out. Feel yourself expanding with every single breath that you take, expanding bigger and bigger and bigger. Give me adjectives. Type it into the chat box if you will. Just give me adjectives. What does that feel like now that you're connected to your higher self? You're dropped down. Your awareness is spread out. You've allowed the awareness of your higher self to penetrate every particle of your body. And you're letting go and letting go and letting go of tension as you do so. Give me adjectives. What does it feel like to be in there? Does it feel safe? Does it feel calm? You guys tell me, and I'll sit here and wait. Or you can unmute yourself if you want. Just kind of share with me, what does it feel like to be connected? It's lighter. Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be less density because you're tapped into a more refined energy of yourself. Yeah, Carmen says feels lighter. Open. Good. Open. That's a good feeling. Open is the first stages of freedom. Someone else said open. Good. Interesting that you guys are all using the same adjectives. I love it. Shauna says, still feel some physical pains, but I feel expansive. Good. Keep going with that expansion then. Go into where the physical pains are coming up for you and go right into the center and just see if you can spread that out a little bit. Take up more space. Karen says, I see blue light. Awesome. Good job. Angela says, alive and whole. Awesome. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Keep breathing. Now we're going to come back to this Merkaba and we're going to generate some electricity or some energy with it. I want you to picture this symbol as a hologram in front of you. Now this hologram or this symbol represents you, your energy body. And again, it's a star tetrahedron spinning counterclockwise, or not counter, it's counter spinning on each other, each of those two shapes. One's going clockwise, the other's going counterclockwise, and they're forming this energy womb. And I really want to invite you to see it larger than life, as big as your body. Breathe into it. See that in the form of a hologram in front of you. Witness it as if you can see right through it. It's clear. It's energy. It's moving. You might notice color. Now, once you've got that spinning on itself and creating this vortex of energy, step into the center of it. Shauna says white and yellow. Interesting. That's really cool. We can talk about the colors in just a little bit. Breathe in, breathe out. Step into the center of it and continue to hold your awareness inside your center, on your center line. Expand it out, but step into this vortex of energy. I want you to notice color. I want you to notice the sound. What does the vibration of this Merkaba sound like as you're inside of it? It's like being in the center of a storm, the eye of a storm. You're standing in the stillness. But I want you to feel the vibration. What you're feeling is the unique vibration of you. As you step into the center of yourself, you are a conductor of energy. What does the vibration feel like? What does the energy feel like? Is it fluid? Is it calm? Is it abundant? Keep breathing into that, and just clear your mind. Notice the feeling. What does the energy smell like, sound like, taste like? Pay attention to how it influences and affects your physical body. How does your light interact with this vortex of energy? This is your fundamental ray. This is your vibration. This is your frequency. This is your energy. Now, a lot of people have used this meditation to do spirit travel, to travel into different realms and dimensions. It's like a womb. You've just created this beautiful container, a womb of energetic flow. So I want you to just pay attention to it. This light vessel that is you. Activating it now in your heart. So let's activate this Merkaba vortex of energy in your heart. Opening it up. Open up your heart. Open up that space there. Allow that spinning geometrical shape to open and expand and expand and expand your heart center. Open, open, open. Until you notice that you're standing in the center of your heart. Keep your awareness inside your body, but just allow your heart center to open up and expand until you're standing in the center of your heart space. Breathe into that. What does it feel like to be in the center of you? What does it feel like to be in the center of your open heart? Give me adjectives. Do you still see color? Do you still experience feelings, vibration? Imagine that you are standing in the center of your own heart space.
Well, Janet, I was going to say, I see the different colors of clouds like going around in a circle, and then they open up to like a universe of stars in the distance. And I want to go there in the dark, mother's womb, and with all the stars, but the clouds just keep floating around in different colors. and it's like I'm stuck. My heart is still stuck somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
So,
sense?
yeah, it does. So can you allow the light within your center to permeate and pierce the darkness? So you're going to need to kind of watch the breath, focus on the breath a little more. And on the exhale, go out a little bit deeper. You may notice places in your physical body that are keeping that stuckness. So let's let go of muscles. Let's let go of tension. Let's let go of beliefs. Let's let go of all of that stuff. And just continue breathing. Breathing in and expanding. I'm going to read some more of these. Anne says it feels like she is one with everything. Carmen says, I feel full. Karen says, acceptance. Someone says, safe. Like a clean breeze flowing through after a rainstorm. Nice. Good. Keep going into that expansive state. There was something, yeah. So when people feel stuck, Pammy, it's because there are modes of habit or behavior or something, some sort of conditioned mental programming that's holding you back from just allowing yourself to step out into infinite potential and infinite possibility. So just go inside and ask a few questions and see what's in there for you. What is holding you back from stepping into infinite potential and infinite possibility? Oftentimes we're stuck because we're prisoners of habit. You think about addictions, you think about behavioral systems, belief systems, the constructs of the brain's programming. Those are the kinds of things that can cause stuckness and cause us to feel like prisoners in our body. So let's see. So just, I want you to tune in into your inner self then, Pammy, and just ask yourself a few more questions. What is holding me back? What is the belief about that? How do I feel? Who am I in this belief? And who do I get to be? Who could I become if I chose to let these beliefs go? So just allow those clouds to just dissipate. If you want, you can pretend that you're erasing them like a whiteboard. You can also pretend that they're in a bowl and you're reaching into the bowl and emptying the bowl out until it's empty, open space. Keep doing that. Breathe into the experience though, and allow yourself to just ask those inner questions. Katie says, when I first stepped into the shapes, energetic vibrations were shooting out of my body like I was in the rotation and the vibrations flew out. Then when I opened the door of my heart, I saw bright white vibrational waves leaving my body like ripples of water expanding out in repetition. That's you. This is you accessing deeper levels of conscious awareness, the deeper levels and aspects of yourself. She also says, I feel safe, like I don't want to leave. Yeah, don't leave, because you just stepped into you. You can stay there all the time if you want to. Shauna says it feels still and safe in there, weightless. Yes, this is pure consciousness. You guys, what you're describing is you. What it feels like to be you. So I'm going to give you just a few more moments to stay in the energy of that flow, the movement. Just notice how fast or slow or fluid or gentle or energetic the waves of energy that are coming from this Merkaba that you just stepped into. Notice, just notice. That's all I want you to do. Don't judge it. It feels still and safe and weightless. Good job. Let this awareness going deep, deep, deep into your soul, into the energetic levels, the vibrational levels of your being. Just be. If you notice more tension coming up in the body, invite those muscles to soften. If you notice more thoughts coming into your brain, let those clouds dissipate. Let the thoughts come in, bring them in to the vortex with you, drop them down to the base of the spine. Every thought that comes in, bring it in, drop it down to the base of the spine, and go into your beingness. I just want you to sit with your being. I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 minutes or so to really just stay in the feeling of being, to just be. And before you go into that, I want you to just say the words, I am. I am. And who is the I? Who is the self? What does that experience feel like to just be? Going into deeper levels of self-reflection. Now, rather than saying I am, I want you to just say I. Don't hold your breath. Keep the breath fluid. Keep that Merkaba spinning, flowing, expanding, opening. Expanding from your center, going out infinitely, using this generator of energy to expand out into the container of the universe to the degree that you become one with everything. Everything that is. The clouds that you see outside, the trees that you see outside, the people, the cars, the good experiences, the bad experiences, all of it is you. It's a reflection of you. It's a mirror of you, expanding out. If you have a hard time maintaining it, go back into center and flow with the movement of the energy that's flowing around you and in you. This Merkaba shape is within you. It's in your heart. It's in your cells. It's in your bones. It's generating energy, intelligence, perfect, pure, refined energy. And that pure, refined energy is love. So just allow that love then to flow through your veins, through your bones. And as it radiates and permeates your physical body, it goes out into the darkness, into the unknown, and it pierces and it integrates and becomes one. Okay. Keep breathing. Keep expanding. Keep your awareness within, preferably in your center somewhere, dropped down into your being. And I want you to just notice now, what is bothering you? Is there anything in your life that you'd like to change? Do you have behaviors that you would like to change? Would you like to change the way that you eat? Would you like to change the way that you emotionally respond to others? Would you like to change the way that you feel about others, maybe in relationships that are struggling? Just notice what is bothering you and what would you like to change. If you have addictions, if you have patterns of behavior and patterns of emotion, just become aware of that right now as we embark on the beginning of this year. Just pick one thing if that's all you can focus on at the moment. Let's say you have certain eating habits that you would love to change, or maybe even emotions around food that you would love to change. Breathe in, breathe out. I want you to think about the different ranges of outcomes in all of the scenarios. What is possible? What have I done in the past? What could I potentially do in the future? Where am I stuck? Maybe think about the relationships. What are the range of outcomes for your relationships? What does it look like? Happy, sad, angry, grumpy, loving, resolution. Think of the whole range of outcomes, from the best possible outcome to the worst possible outcome, and put it on a little timeline from best to worst. Put all of those possibilities there and just see them all there on this line. And now I want you to just get into your body, drop down to the base of the spine, and I want you to say, as you observe and witness all these possible outcomes for yourself in whatever it is that's bothering you, and I want you to say out loud, I embrace them all. And breathe into that. Don't hold your breath. I embrace them all. I accept them all. Breathe in, breathe out. Letting go of your life, of the need for your life to look a certain way or outcomes to be a certain way. Embrace all outcomes. Breathe into it with compassion. Breathe into it with acceptance and approval. Breathe in, breathe out, let go, pushing that light out. Pushing, pushing, pushing. I'm not going to use the word pushing. Let's find a different word. How about radiating, expanding, opening? Radiating, expanding, opening. That's so much better. Now, as you have completely and entirely accepted all outcomes, that it's okay, it is what it is, and I'm okay. All the outcomes you have fully accepted with compassion. Now, I want you to go into the intuition. Open yourself up to the intuition of what is possible. That this could be different. Breathe into it and let go. What is possible that this could be different? Going into that intuitive response rather than the emotional response. Dropping down into your center, asking your higher self. Now that your higher self is that feeling that feels connected and light and open and weightless and safe. That's you. So as you go into that higher self, You can just ask your higher self, what is next? What is needed? And typically the answer will likely be, what is next is now. This moment that you're in right now. So I want you to envision yourself overcoming this behavior, this programming, this conditioning, the judgment, the pain and suffering, whatever the problem is that you're experiencing. I want you to observe yourself create in your holographic field now all of the potential outcomes. Envision yourself overcoming behaviors. Envision yourself, just observe. Observe yourself. Who am I? Now, so let's say we're dealing with an addiction and you have an addiction to cheese puffs. And every time you walk past the pantry, you have to open up the door and reach inside the bag and grab a handful of cheese puffs, and you can't stop yourself. The reason that you can't stop yourself from having that addiction is because you're mindless. You're not in a state of awareness. Once you go into a state of awareness and you truly observe yourself, in that moment, you'll stop the addictive behavior and move to something different that's more reflective of you. So one of the best ways to observe yourself is ask, what am I doing? Why am I doing that? Observation of self creates awareness, which then leads to consciousness, which then leads to awakening, which then leads to you stepping into personal power that can literally change patterns of behavior. Why am I doing this? What am I really hungry for? What am I looking for that I feel that I don't have access to? What am I deeply desiring in this moment right now? Same thing when you're in a relationship challenge and someone's pushing your buttons and they're triggering you. You can do the same thing. What am I doing? Who am I? What is it that I desire? Why do I act this way? Why am I feeling this way? What am I desiring? What do I need? Chances are you need nothing but to just be, and then allow others to be as well. Because again, in a relationship, the other person in the relationship is a reflection of you. They're a reflection of something going on inside of you. And so you get to look at that and you get to decide for yourself, is this an aspect that I want to let go of and transmute into love again? What am I seeking? And what is truth? Those are the questions that you get to ask yourself. Breathe in, breathe out. Dropping back down into the center of your being, into your body. Now, the last phase of this meditation, we're going to ask, who am I? Who do I get to be now that I'm not carrying around that baggage or that weight or that programming or that conditioning or that conditioned response or the judgment that I held of myself? Again, consciousness and enlightenment is being able to witness and observe yourself without judging yourself. Can you go within now and witness yourself without judging yourself? Alicia says, wait, so the problems our spouse is having is a reflection of us? This is very enlightening. The problem may not be a reflection of you, but how you see the problem definitely is a reflection of where you're at and what you're dealing with within. If you can get yourself to a place where you can just completely let go of judging yourself and them and just return yourself to a state of love, like it is what it is and I'm okay. I don't need them or their behavior to complete me or fulfill me. Does that make sense? So it may not be that you're to blame or they're to blame. There's no blame in any of this, and there's no judgment in any of it. It's just a reflection of what's going on inside of me that needs to be returned to love. Because once you witness the absence of love in somebody else, now you got it. Now you have the virus, right? So the minute that you witness the absence of love in something or someone else, it's a reflection as to what's inside of you that you need to release and let go of and transmute and return it back to love. Because it's the place inside of you that where you have separated from love. So you have to go back in and connect and be love. Angela says, I get to be me, beautiful, wonderful, whole, and unique me. And I get to evolve and grow each day. Yes, you get to expand out into the universe and your light gets to touch all creation. And you really seriously do touch and influence and harmonize with all creation when you learn how to tap into yourself. Or just our judgments. Yeah, it's our judgments. When you're judging other people, you're also judging yourself. So that's a time to go inside and do introspection and self-reflection. And it will bring you to a place of humility. And humility is the gateway to charity. Okay, lastly, I just want to share one last little piece that I think is really powerful. I had a powerful meditation with this week, using this Merkaba as a travel, for those of you who do spirit travel. Some of you on here I know do that in your meditations. You'll just allow it to take you to places where God can teach you. And I did that this week. So I formed the Merkaba in my experience, in my awareness. I climbed inside of the vessel and just allowed that vessel to become this big open womb of powerful, energetic light. And then I got myself centered and expanded out through it. And then I just cleared my mind. So I just took the whiteboard, the eraser, and I erased everything going on in my head and got it very, very clear and very centered, just tapped into the beingness. And I let that vessel take me. I just let it lift off and take me to wherever it wanted to go, because it is a representation of your higher self. And I literally did have a cosmic traveling experience where I went to, I believe, another dimension. And I believe that this is how we transcend the physical world. It's by using the power within us. So you can use it as a reflective vessel to reflect back to you who you are and give you intuition and insight into who you are, or you can use it as a vessel, a womb, so to speak, for allowing it to take you to places that you've never been before, cosmically, in your journeyings of enlightenment. Hopefully that makes sense. Does anybody have any questions or comments or want to share what their experience was today tapping into the higher self, into those higher realms? Now, you can use this while you're coming on. You can unmute yourself if you want to share, or if you want to type it into the chat, you can do that too. You can use this process to help you overcome addictions, behaviors, to help you gain access to truth, to ask deeper questions, to go within, to connect with God, to get those answers that you're looking for, because all the answers are within. The answers are all within. I'm curious if you use your own thoughts to meditate or use a recording or friend to help. I have done that in the past. Now, personally, I just find it distracting. So I just get into my body. I just go into my body. I tap into that vibration. I tap into what it feels like. And I just go into deep, deep awareness. So I'm observing and I'm silent. I'm the silent observer of the experience that's coming into my awareness. Does that make sense? So I shut off music. I shut off all the distractions. I don't use any of that stuff now. I used to. I found that it was helpful. But now it's so much more powerful to just go into the stillness and be the silent witness of where your higher self is going. Hopefully that answers your question. Anybody else? Yeah, I have. I have to use a fan as a cover noise. Yeah, sometimes just having some white noise on in the background to keep you from being distracted. I have to clear my thoughts. So I like to use the eraser or the dipping down into a big bowl and pulling out all the thoughts out of my brain and dissolving them. Or you can just allow the thoughts that are still left to trickle into your brain and just drop them down to the base of the spine. It's really, for me, meditation has just basically become the process of getting centered, going into that expanded state, stepping into your Merkaba for sure, because there's power being generated in there and light, and then just let it take you to wherever it wants, because you can trust it because it's you. Okay. All right. Well, if that's it for everybody and there's no further questions or comments or remarks, I do bid you a good day. Thank you for being on here. Thank you for participating. This was an amazingly powerful meditation. I recommend that you go back and re-listen to the replay of this. It's going to be up later on this afternoon. And I will have a handout that will go with it as well. The handout might not be done by the end of the day, but just watch for it. I'll post it in places like Instagram and Facebook and Telegram, my Telegram channel, and also on the Messenger chat as well. So you'll have access to that. This video will be posted on YouTube. So if it's on YouTube, watch for the handouts also to be down below. Okay, anybody else? Oh, we've got, Meryl says, I had a headache when we started, but when I was in the meditation, I could not feel it. Yes, yeah, because you transcended the low density of your physical body. So you can definitely use this type of an experience, this type of a meditation, tapping into your higher self, allowing that higher self to penetrate and permeate every single cell. Let it permeate every single cell to the degree that healing can be allowed by your conscious mind. What's holding you back from healing? Usually it's programming, mind programming. So you've got to be willing to let that stuff go. Okay, thank you all, everybody, for being here. Mwah, love you all. Take care, and we'll talk to you next week. Okay, see you, bye.